Hey everyone, it's Lil D from LilDevet.com and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I do functional planning with multiple planners. These are my 4 main planners, so I'm going to be sharing with you what each one is for, why I decided to dedicate a specific planner to it, how my system works together, and then at the end I have 2 honorable mentions of additional notebooks that I also use for a specific purpose. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, please keep watching. To begin with, I'd like to give you a little history of how I started my planner journey. Back in the day, I started using planners roughly around the early 90s when our only planner options, well, the main ones were Daytimers and Franklin Covey. So I started as a Daytimer girl, and that was a time when you did have just one planner. They were very plain and they were just for writing things down and organizing your day. Fast forward to present day, a couple of years ago, the crafting world and the planner world collided. So we have more of a eclectic community which involves multiple planners. It involves things like washi tape and stickers and colored pens and all sorts of things. I myself have never strayed too far from my roots. I'm still primarily a functional planner, so I don't do a lot of decorating or embellishments in my planner. However, I have found the value of using certain techniques that crafters might use to help make me more productive. And some of those techniques have been, for example, using color coding. That's been essential to both my work and personal planning systems. Using, like functional stickers to help, make things jump out of my pages to catch my attention, and also using multiple planners. So with that, I'm going to put these aside and cover these one by one. So to begin, this is my work planner, and I just did a functional plan with me and walkthrough of this planner, so I'm not going to repeat a lot of what I said in that video. What I'll do is I'll link it up below. But this is essentially a Graf Miquel Ruiz notebook, which I'm using as a bullet journal inside this A5 size traveler's notebook. I'm not going to mention the shop because frankly the shop has since closed down, so it's not really important, but this is my work planner. And the reason that I have my work planner broken out separately is because my field of work, I have a lot of details that I need to capture, and a lot of the information is either confidential and really cannot be mixed with details of my personal life. If anything were to happen and they were to try to, gather information on what happened or sequester my records, the last thing I would want is to have my work information mixed in with my personal information. So that is my primary reason for dedicating a separate planner for work. In addition to that, I work a 9-to-5 job, so I start my day at the same time every day. Sometimes I do overtime, but for the most part, my work time does not spill over into my personal time. So there is nothing in this planner that I need to refer to after hours. So this is something that just stays in my office and I refer to during business hours. So that is the primary reason why I have this broken out. And as you can see here, I'm using a rather thick notebook, and that's because I manage several projects. So I do need a lot of room to capture and track a lot of information. If you want to hear, once again, see the walkthrough and find out more details of how I use this planner, please check out my work bullet journal video, which I'll link above. Next is my blog YouTube planner. Now this isn't it, this is just a cover from, which is absolutely gorgeous, and this cover houses my Erin Condren monthly deluxe planner. Now I also did a video on this showing a walkthrough and how I'm using this. This planner basically has monthly overviews as well as project planning pages. So essentially what I do, let me see if I can find a month that's a lot darker here. So here, this is in blue, so you can see it a little better. What I do is you have spots here for 5 different categories. So what I do is I break down my projects and then I list specific tasks for each of those projects for the month. Here I track notes and reference information. This is my to-do list. I do have a clip-in dashboard, which I use to capture overflow, and then in the back there's a lot of blank pages, which is where I capture a lot of information. So like I said, I also did a walkthrough of this as well, so if you want to find out more about that, you can check out that video. And the reason that I have this broken out into a separate planner is because there's a lot of information and details that go into managing my blog and my YouTube channel. So what I was finding was that if I keep that in my personal planner, it was just taking up way too much information in my pages. And then it was difficult if I needed to find what did I do for the week for my blog or my YouTube amidst all the other details, you know, for personal, family, fitness, and everything else. It was just too hard to find. So it was just better to dedicate a separate planner for it. So that's my blog YouTube content planner. Next, we do have a family of 4, so I have 2 children. And what I do is I have an A5. I'm using the Inkwell Press inserts in this one. And I use this as my personal, home, family, fitness, pretty much everything, you know, related to home life in this planner. So it has monthly overviews, and I'll show you what the weekly pages look like. It's just a vertical, and this gives me a lot of room for tracking a lot of information. I do use color coding, so each member of the family has their own color. And what this allows me to do is it gives me plenty of room to keep track of what's going on with the kids, what's going on with my husband, what's going on with myself. And I can capture and break down details, you know, as granularly as I need to. So I have this larger planner dedicated to that because, like I said, if I try to combine it with this and this, it just became too much. And, you know, frankly, sometimes, like if you know, this for the most part stays on my desk, but if I happen to want to take it with me, I really don't need, like I said, the information captured in those other 2 main planners along, you know, with all this information. So that's my personal home and fitness planner. Lastly, this is my on-the-go planner. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure you've seen plenty of pictures of this planner. So in this planner, I have not 1, but 2 Hobonichi weeks. And I also have a video where I go over how my setup is for the Hobonichi weeks. So this red Hobonichi weeks is also for my personal home, family, fitness. And what I do is here we have a week on one page, and then we have a dotted grid blank page on this side. And what this allows me to do is throughout the day, I just capture notes. Especially when I need to go on the go. This is nice and compact, so I can take it with me. And then what I do is I sync this at the end of the week with my personal family home planner, which is this one. And I just make sure that the information is in both planners. Now this planner here is for my blog YouTube, and the reason I'm carrying 2 is for the same reason that I broke out those other 2 larger planners. It just became way too much detail to track. It's the same week on one page, blank on this side, so what I like to do is to just keep track of everything that I'm doing, and then at the end of the week, like my personal home fitness planner, I just sync it with this one, and I have everything I need for either on the go or at home. Lastly, I have two honorable mentions. I do like to have creative outlets and the ability to brainstorm. So I am using this Chic Sparrow Sidekick as an art journal. And in here I have a Hobonichi A5, and these are daily pages, which I just like to watercolor or draw and journal and things like that, capture memories. I put in mementos and ticket stubs and whatever. So I do have a portable watercolor palette. I have a portable brush, my Micron marker, and a fountain pen to journal. So I do this again because I don't, what I was finding is that if I tried to do this in my either A5 personal planner or my on the go, it was just too much information on one page. And this just allows me to capture all that information freely without cluttering up and losing information on those pages. Lastly, I have another Chic Sparrow, and this one I recently got. This is the gorgeous Outlander, and the color really isn't rendering. It's a gorgeous wine color that's a lot more redder. You can probably see that's more true to color right there. And in here I have, this is an Essentials. You can find these on Amazon. Grid A6 notebook, and what I do here is I just literally brainstorm. Sometimes I just need to grab a blank notebook and jot down notes, so that's what I do here. And this is kind of a gratitude journal, or just for journaling, which I've spruced up with washi tape and made it beautiful. So that's what I do in here, and then I just have some things in the pockets, motivational quotes. So these are just two honorable mentions. I don't necessarily use them for planning, but once again, the reason I had to break it out into separate notebooks is to not clutter up the others that I use for functional planning. So I just wanted to, share that it is possible to be a functional planner with multiple planners, especially if you're the type like me who likes to compartmentalize in order to make sure that those areas of your life you're organizing as productively as possible. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And as always, I would really appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe. So until next time, thanks everyone. Take care.